Welcome to the Energy Hour. The Energy Hour is brought to you by Quality Home Improvement, Southern California's premier residential and commercial contractor, making homes and businesses energy efficient, one building at a time.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming. My name is Christopher Moss. I am your host of the Energy Hour podcast over in beautiful Upland, California. Today is June 15th, 2022. We got Ray in the house. What's going on, Ray?
Nothing much. How are you?
Oh, my God. You know, what is today? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Wow, hump day already. June's almost gone.
Yes, this whole year.
So what's going on with you? What movie did we see? A Top Gun?
We saw Top Gun.
Wasn't that good, man?
It was awesome.
Oh, I
saw
loved
it twice
it.
already.
Okay, be honest with me. Out of 1 to 10, what'd you give it?
I would say a 7.5.
I'm going to give Tom Cruise, because he's my boy. I'm going to, kind of get rid of the Scientology part. But I'm going to give him an 8.5.
Okay.
It was a great sequel, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. Hey, Chuck, what's happening?
Hey, good afternoon. Good to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming. And by the way, Chuck is one of our special guests along with Mike, and they're from Homerun Financing, one of the best PACE programs and unsecured programs on the planet today, folks. So if you got to do any home improvements, these are the guys to do it with.
And the crowd goes wild.
Right?
Thank you.
So what's going on with you? What's up?
You know, it's Wednesday, like you said. It's halfway through the year. I mean, another year's flying by.
2022, man.
2023's coming, right?
Right.
Who would have thunk? So it's hot. It's hot in California. I was in
hottest.
Vegas over the weekend. It was
really?
hotter in Vegas.
Okay.
And so, just good to be here. Glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for coming. We appreciate you guys. And we're going to start using the bejesus more out of you guys, right?
Great to hear.
Mike, what's going on?
Happening? How you doing?
We got Mike here from Homerun Financing, a personal friend as well.
Absolutely.
Me and Mike have been in this business for quite a few years.
Yes, we have.
And what's new with you?
No, same thing. It's the years flying by, trying to take care of business and stay on top of things. So right now things are going great.
Fantastic. So you're good to go? You're locked in? And
I'm locked in, ready
you're in
to
drive.
rock. I'm in drive mode.
I love it. Yeah. And you're right. Summer's here, right?
It definitely is.
We got people that need to get home improvements done.
Absolutely.
You know, roofs are finally ready to be replaced. High electric bills. Yay, solar systems, right?
Yeah.
Hey, let's not stop there. We got water efficiency to worry about. We got turf.
Turf.
Right? Why not replace your grass with turf? You know what the average monthly payment for water bill, Ray, up in Victorville is?
Don't know.
It's $350.
Wow. That's a lot.
These guys are I'm like, well, maybe I can lose that grass.
Absolutely.
Because when you go up there, it's usually dirt bank, drought tolerant landscaping, some rocks, and what they're trying to do, and then it keeps going to dirt banks. But $350.
And now you can only water your grass on certain days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, they've got a memoriam now or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's you can do it on a Monday between 12:30 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You get a little squirt in there, and that's all
hope
she wrote.
you hope you don't brown out.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Brown out, right? The grass, brown out.
Yeah. One way or another, that's going to happen. It is what it is, right?
Right.
So, and then what other improvements can we do? You guys have a list of just...
There's literally,
my goodness,
hundreds of things that
Windows,
are on the list.
doors.
Windows, doors, AC, heating, AC.
Yeah.
Heat pumps are very popular today.
Yeah.
So that you're not using natural gas, which is also getting more expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of texture coating of the outside of your home.
I
which
love
is
that product.
Heat reflective.
Yep.
So there's just hundreds of products that make sense for people to do.
One of my favorite for sure, the Life Paint, we call it.
Life paint. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they got a lifetime warranty. So you know what? Home improvements are necessary. We got to do them. And with this interest rate stuff going up,
People are staying home, fixing their home.
I mean, I don't want to. I've been in my house, unfortunately, 37 years. But you know what? I remember way back when I paid $86,000 for my house. What I should have did was bought 3 of them.
Yes, absolutely.
And I blame my mom for that. I was like, damn it, what am I missing here? I should have bought 4 or 5, right?
Right.
Half the neighborhood, then I'd have been wealthy.
There you go.
But my house today is worth $550,000.
Prices are going through the roof. It's they're building a new community behind me up in northern Fontana, and houses are starting out at $800,000.
You're kidding me.
$800,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
That house would be worth, what, $4 million in 10 years?
probably.
Wow, yeah.
Probably.
How
Why-
can you afford
why
it?
not?
How can a family afford that?
See, here's the issue. You got all these people that are in their houses still, knock on wood. I'm still there. I haven't got kicked out yet, but that's in the process, I'm sure. But, that's happening. And then so you got these siblings. You got your 2 boys, 2 girls. They went to college a little bit, right? Thank God they raised the minimum wage to 15. What is it? $15?
It's going up.
Yes.
You can go to Target and get a job for 23. Hey, there's hope for me, right? You're going to see me at Home Depot, right, Mike? I'll be in the lumber aisle. But that being said, how are these kids going to drop that kind of money? I mean, even to buy my house, which ain't worth $550, but they're doing it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you have more and more people every day, every month moving out of California. So it's I just
what's
find
going
it
on with
interesting.
California?
My 26-year-old son moved to Vegas this weekend.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's just had it. He wants to buy a house, and he can't afford a house.
Yeah.
I live in Riverside. He's looking around Riverside. He'd have to move way out into, one of those communities that are way out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Years
in the
before,
middle.
you could live in Riverside.
You could. You used to
Back
be
in
able
the
to.
days, you could
I
live
paid
in-
$130 for mine in '98, and I still live there, and
Nice.
it's worth $550,
Yeah,
$580
yeah.
today.
So they were going to consider moving him out to Death Valley, right? To
Something
buy
like that, right? Not that those aren't nice communities out there. And
yeah.
Stater Brothers comes in and
You got a
builds
vulture as
something.
a vulture as a friend,
They,
stuff
they
like
build
that.
around it, but it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
too
yeah.
expensive. Too expensive.
It's just the prices. Look at, come on, this is one that's killing us all. The gas. Well, maybe you guys, but not me. The gas prices.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
No, ridiculous.
L.A.
$7.
One of my friends drives to L.A. all the time, and she says it's $8 to $10.
Could be.
Are you kidding me?
I send you a
doubt it.
picture of that one
There's
gas station. It was $9.99.
corner of hill and no turn back once you enter the station.
Well, it's interesting because the news says the average price in California is $5.10, and I'm going
That's
where
national.
you live.
That's national average.
It's got to be because
Which is not right for us here.
So I remember 1978
Yeah.
when gas pumps had dials. Okay, so 1978 they had dials, and
Yeah.
the dial only went to only 99 cents,
A
99
99?
cents and 9 tenths.
No.
So they had to start selling gas when it got to $1 by the half gallon
Oh my
because
gosh.
the pumps didn't go to $1, and then they had to change out all those pumps to get the extra digits. So those signs, they don't go to $10. I think
yeah.
they stop at $9.99.
Well, let's bring
Yeah.
those back.
I remember, it's funny you said that. The first car that I got was a Gran Torino. First and foremost, when I got it from my dad, it came with boat anchors and boat paddles. It was a big boat.
2-door or 4-door?
It was a 2-door, and of course I blew it up. I thought it was the fastest thing on the planet. But, and I remember putting $20 in my tank. It was like $10 really. And then I had enough to go out and hang out at Whittier Boulevard to make some money racing my car.
I
It was
used,
the best.
in high school, 76 in high school, I used to pump gas at a gas station, and the price at that time was, I think, 85 cents. And then when I went to college in New York, I remember when gas hit $1.25.
Wow.
And
And you're
people
thinking-
they were flipping out.
You're thinking the world's coming
People
to
was-
an end, right?
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
I hate to say it. I'm not aging myself. I just turned, I think 25, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that. But the gas prices when I was a young kid was 26 cents.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. It was flipping.
Yeah.
Well, you remember when during Carter, or the whole oil embargo thing, when we had to stand in line and odd and even license plates, and
the gas sign, no gas.
No gas.
What the heck's going on, right?
Spent a lot of time in those lines. My dad would take one car to work. My mom would take the other car to the gas station.
We're really
right. That was the plan.
That was the alternate plan.
That's funny.
The funny thing about that is some of these people that own these stations are inflating that as well. So not only do the feds and the state got to get their cut, these guys are going, And, they used to tell us that, we don't do that.
Well, but there's still competition because there's always one or two on every corner. So you have to, there's always going to be a little competition.
The Hatfields and the McCoys.
But they have to buy, they have to pay, they have to charge what they have to pay in the future to refill that tank too.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
So it's not getting any better anytime soon. I mean, we've done some stupid things cutting off our natural resources in this country.
Yeah.
For oil and gas.
Thank goodness for solar though, because now I have a natural resource to charge my Tesla.
Yeah, there
you go.
That's a 1-2 punch, right? Did you put enough solar on your house?
Well, it requires about a 3K. Here's the irony of this whole thing, right? Now that electric vehicles are mandated by 2035, it's 13 years from now, guys, right? So that gas guzzler that you're continuing to drive, I made the switch. I really had I had an accident, right? It was last February, and once I'm coming out of my stupor, Rob looks at me and he goes, "You're not buying a Prius." I go, "What?" He goes, "Come with me." He took me over to Tesla in Rancho Cucamonga. I kid you not. Him and I were looking at these cars and he goes, this guy comes up to us, no stress express, right? He says, "Drive this for an hour." Within 10 minutes, I was like, where do I sign?
Yeah, I'm signing. How long did it take to get the car when you ordered it?
There were some tricks that I did. I can't describe those tricks because I want these guys to wait. No, I'm just kidding. But it took me 90 days.
Oh, that was awesome.
Not bad, right?
I think it's 6 months right now. How
Even
long
longer
is it?
than that.
Here's the trick.
They're backed up.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the trick. If you add automatic piloting to that, it's like $12,000.
Comes faster.
It comes faster, and then right before you buy it, you just take it off.
Sweet.
I still want it, though. But
I have a friend that has it, and sometimes when you're on the freeway, there's those inside off ramps.
Oh yeah,
and he wasn't paying attention, and his autopilot took him on the inside off ramp.
Oh
because
boy,
it didn't know the difference between the inside off ramp and the lane. And all of a sudden he's getting off the freeway, didn't realize he was until he's like, oh wait a second.
The greatest thing is you just put your foot on the brake and it stops.
You're done.
Yeah.
But still awesome.
Let me tell you, technology is changing right in front of our eyes all the time. So solar is really still a good alternative.
I've had it since 2010. And
Do you love it?
I love it. I was in that industry in 2008 when I started in that industry selling solar panels. I have 185 watt panels on my house.
Wow.
Which my inverter at 10 years and 2 months, it had a 10-year warranty. So 10 years and 2 months. It was a Fronius, I think.
Fronius, yeah.
It went.
Old
it was
names.
SunPower Fronius.
SunPower Fronius, yeah.
Private label.
But
I got that replaced. The panels are still pumping out kilowatt hours every single day.
Nice.
And I love it. Love it.
They're still going to do that for 20 more years.
At least, but I'm going to refresh it soon just because.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm using more AC.
Well, you know where you're going to come.
I'm home more.
Give
us a call.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll take your numbers down.
Love Solaria. I was a homer for Solaria for a long time.
An amazing. They're one of our sponsors. They're an amazing product.
Yeah, it's just I was fortunate enough to sell that product for a few minutes. Yeah, it's just incredible. It gets better all the time.
It does.
So when you talk about technology, they just lead the pack.
Yep.
They're everything that they do. It's a California corporation, so you're supporting California.
Yeah. Hello.
Nice.
So it's all good there, and it's a great product and great people. So
why not put your gas station on your roof?
well, if you're going to go electric, if you're going to get an EV, that's by far the best way to do it because you don't want to pay the rates. If you're buying an electric vehicle, you're going to pay those high tier time of use rates.
Yeah, it's
you
hard.
can go super time of use, but what's that? 19 cents now?
Yeah.
I mean, tier 1 or off peak is 29 cents in some Southern California.
Do you have you don't have an EV now, right?
No, I don't. That's coming.
What is that rate going to be when you get EV? Do you know?
The rate of
There's an electric vehicle special rate.
So
when
it
you
changes.
start- yeah,
I've seen it.
it does.
And if you get super time of use, it was like 8 cents, but this was a few years ago. I don't know what it is today. And I know it's changed dramatically.
Hey,
so I don't
even
wanna
if you paid 15 or a dime, who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's cheaper than gas.
Right?
But you have to be able to afford the EV.
Yeah.
And as long as you can afford the EV, and then you have solar, and you have enough solar, that's the other downside
Yeah.
is people don't have enough
Yep.
solar.
Yep.
And also when I sold solar in 2008, tier 1 was 9 cents.
I know.
So we didn't design a solar system to wipe out tier 1 because you were paying $20-$30 for
It was
tier 1.
cheap.
And it was the return on investment was, it had too many years to the return on investment.
Exactly.
Well, gee, guess what happened? They figured out that they couldn't change the rate, but they could change the size of the tier.
That's right.
So they squeezed tier 1 down a couple hundred kilowatts. So
Yeah.
now all of a sudden
Yeah.
that 20 or 30, all of a sudden that bill's growing by 10, that tier 1's growing by 10% per year now.
Easy.
And by the way, don't forget, they got rid of what used to be tier 3, what used to be tier 4.
Right.
You know, and they took tier 5 all the way down, and you had tier 1 and tier 5.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
and tier 1 was really small.
It is.
They played a lot of fun games. I call it tierology. If you use that word, you have to pay me 5 cents because I made
What a
that
great
word up.
name. What a great name.
Tierology. You have to have a PhD to understand it. Go ahead and call the power company and ask them to explain it because they can't.
I love it. Well, Terrology is good for us because it's just kind of, it's unfortunate, but it forced people to go to solar, right? Who wants
Yes.
to pay and we have some customers now that we're trying to put into play, and $400 or $500 is not uncommon.
It's
It's
easy.
sad. It's
So-
freaking sad.
And this is what's really sad. In Vegas, a cost per kilowatt hour is 12.5 cents.
Stop it.
12.5 cents.
What?
Right?
Wow.
IID out in La Quinta.
Yeah.
IID, 12.5 cents. So why are we paying
Why are
40
we-
cents?
yeah.
Why are we paying 50 cents? Where's all that going?
You know, the CEC, remember them a long time ago when it was R1 through R5? Well, the problem was they let the wolf in the hen house, and those guys are
deregulation.
named.
They called it deregulation.
Yeah, and
How'd that work out?
good old Southern California Edison grabbed it on the low side and said, "Hey, let us administer it. Since we put that part of that $3.2 billion into that fund, hey, we should be able to distribute that." And they haven't let go since.
Right.
All they've done is every 6 months they have a new policy that changes. You had NEM 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of scared of NEM 4.
You should be.
I think the average guy will pay a $40 connection fee. That's
It
stupid.
makes no sense whatsoever when you hear all of these people talk about green energy and electric cars, and yet they're sticking it to people. They're trying to change the way that we get solar and how we use solar. Now, the only way around that, of course, is to add a battery because you don't want to give it back.
Right.
But that adds $10,000, $12,000.
It's a lot of money
to the cost of the system.
Yeah.
So that you're not giving it back, so that you're not paying to get it back.
with zero ROI, because you got to change it out.
Yeah, it's not going to last.
And see, here's another thing that Edison did, and then we'll move on. They even started building these huge fields, right?
Right.
They're getting these, 8 million panel fields out there and telling some of their customers that, hey, you don't have to put solar on your roof. You can just buy it from us at a higher price.
Yeah, we did it. I've seen those bills.
Yeah.
They moved people without telling them.
Yeah.
And I said, come outside. You see that wire? Which one is the green wire? We're the green energy, because you've been put on a green energy plan, but it's the same wire coming into your house.
Yeah, and you're paying more
And
for
you're
it.
paying more for the green energy. So why don't you just go solar and make your own green energy?
Congratulations. Exactly.
We're gonna help you make your own energy today.
So that being said, remember, guys, you got 13 years to get your EVs ready. Tesla's coming out with I think it's a $35,000 sedan that will
Nice.
go 500 miles. And it's going to be the Model Y. It's going to probably be a watered down version. But as far as I'm concerned, I like the Model Y because it fits guys like me.
Right.
I just got a big head, so I got to slip in there. But the Model Y is fantastic, and they say it's going to go to 500 miles.
Yeah, that's what it has to do. It
When
has
it-
to go
when
more
it
than
gets-
280 miles. That's not enough.
Toyota's got one that's going to go 680, baby. So they're coming.
Yep.
Good.
It's here.
That's well,
And
the
the prices will
technology.
get cheaper too.
Yeah.
Cars will get cheaper.
Yeah. I'll
They
buy
have
you a
to.
car, Ray.
That's it.
You good? All right. But $35,000 for a sedan, you can go 500 miles. Who doesn't want that?
No,
Right,
that's
that's great.
And my gas
That
stations
works.
at home?
Right. The gas stations at home.
You know what? These gas stations are going to start converting. They're going to start getting rid of the tanks, and they're going to start putting EV stations. And when you get a Tesla, you'll see that there's 45,000 charging locations nationwide, which is a lot. And every place that I've gone to in Southern California, and during my trip, it'll say, hey, pull over there if you really want to finish the trip.
Top it off.
Top it off. There
Does
you
it
go.
tell you how busy they are, though? How have you found, is it busy?
No,
Do you have to wait?
No, there's people there, but the charges are so quick.
They are quick.
They are.
Because they must have gotten quicker. Because I've heard complaints that you have to sit for 20 minutes or.
Well, 20 minutes versus $95 in gas.
So today that makes sense. No,
would
today
you make 20 minutes?
I'll wait 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it takes me an hour to go full charge. This is when I'm dragging the car in at 2%. Car's looking up at me and saying, hey, man, what are you doing?
Right,
So
right.
I'll pull in there. It takes me an hour, and I got a week plus. I can come to work for a full charge is $18.
You charge at home, though, too, correct?
No,
You don't ever charge at home.
never, but I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm starting to put the 240 volt thing into place.
Right.
And then it'll offset what I'm doing. And then I'm going to change my rate to EV,
Yes.
like you said, right? Maybe I'll get 10 cents. Who knows?
It used to be called super time of use.
Super time
I don't
of
know
use,
what it
yeah.
is called today, but there's a rate between midnight and 6 a.m.
I love it.
Set the timer
Yeah.
and let it charge.
Yeah. Yeah. So people are getting these second solar systems, as you mentioned, right? And what a better way to put it on a PACE program, right?
Absolutely the best way to finance solar today.
I mean, it doesn't cost you anything.
There's no money out of pocket, right? So first of all, there's no money down, no money out of pocket. You can finance it for as long as you want. There are no prepayment penalties for PACE, but PACE loans, they have fees that are built into the loans.
Yep.
But the price that you're quoted by your rep includes all principal, interest, and fees, and then you can figure out what the total cost of ownership is by just doing the math. But there's absolutely not a better place to go to put solar on your home is than a PACE loan, because what it allows you to do is it allows you not to have to use your credit score.
I love that part.
Right. So we just make sure you have the ability to pay. Your credit score does not come into play. It doesn't affect your debt to income. So think about the cost of a solar system. The bigger your bill, the
Sure.
bigger the solar system.
Right.
$500 bill, $400 bill, you're putting a 6 kW, a 7 kW. You want to add an EV, you might have to put an 8 kW system on your house. You're getting up to $30,000, $40,000 before you get the tax credit. By the way, if you get the tax credit, you can pay your loan down too. You have all the ability as traditional financing. So, but what happens is that with a PACE loan, it goes on your property tax. But I want to make this very clear. It's a loan. You have to pay it back.
Yeah.
Right. Don't believe, any carpetbagger that tells you that it's free or anything like
Those
that.
guys on YouTube.
It's ridiculous. It is a private public partnership because it's in conjunction with your county. If they're in the PACE, most counties are involved in the PACE program, and you have to pay the loan back. But again, doesn't affect your credit score. Doesn't affect your debt to income. You go get a traditional loan and you go take out a $30,000 loan. Guess what? You're going to have a $30,000 hit by that $30,000 is sitting there on your credit report, and it's going to affect your DTI for 20 or 30 years.
Which means I can't go buy any more
It
stuff.
affects your ability to buy other things. So a PACE loan doesn't affect your credit score other than the one pull. It doesn't affect your debt to income. It does not affect the equity in your house. You still have all your equity available to use as you want. And it doesn't affect your ability to borrow other money. And that's the most important thing, because when you take out one of these big unsecured loans, it's going to have long-term effects on everything that you do.
Well, you know what they also don't tell you, the loan officer guy, I have to throw them into the mix, right? They don't tell you they buried 4 points into your loan. 2 points is probably standard, but we knew a guy that if you let him, he'd throw in 50 points.
Right.
We thought he was a basketball player, but he was talking about something else, right? But they bury all those costs, escrow, and at today's interest rates,
That's
it
ridiculous.
doesn't make sense.
So in our PACE program, we give you the option to buy down your rate. So why would you want to buy down your rate? Well, when you're going to take out a 20 or a 30-year loan, and you can have the choice of paying 2.99%, and there's a fee for that, or pay 10.99 or 7.99. When you take that loan out over 20 years,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer. Pay the fee.
Yeah.
But that's all disclosed. That's why I said it,
Yeah.
it includes principal, interest, and fees. Because guess what? The county who runs the program wants some money. Your city gets paid some money. So everybody gets paid on this loan, but you get all the advantages of it. So as long as you understand the loan, and as long as it's explained to you, as long as you understand how you pay it back, whether if you have an impound account with your mortgage, so a PACE loan doesn't affect your mortgage, it affects your impound account.
Right.
The monthly payment then gets added to your monthly impound account.
It's kind of like the water district does in your territory where you buy water from. There's a line item. There's an impound for that. There's an impound for fire and police.
Libraries,
I mean,
sewage bonds.
Mike, there's like 5 or 6 of them already there that you don't even know about. So we're just going to add a little one that says Home Run Financing. It's a PACE program. And listen, if you get it after June, here's the great thing, right? We're in June, right? Hint, hint. If you get it right after June, it doesn't hit until the following November, not this November, but the following November, 2023.
How could you go wrong?
What's to say? Especially if you're getting a solar system. Let me do the math, right? I'm paying like Edison right now, $225 a month. And then I got a year plus those other 5 months. Well, how much money did I just put in my wallet?
Exactly.
It's like $3,000. So when it comes time to pay, I got an extra $3,000 I can put on the principal of that, right? The avoided energy cost alone is going to be a nice little down payment.
The math always makes sense with solar.
Or you can put it on a Tesla for all we know.
You can put a down payment on a Tesla.
I love it. You know, there's the best thing I think about your program is, let's just say I want to get another solar system because the last guy that sold it to me undersold me. That's like a normal, right, Ray?
It's so unfortunate.
I mean, we just did 2 of them like that. Guys in Upland. But the greatest thing is, if I want to add a kitchen, I can't do that on a PACE program. But you know what? You guys got this phenomenal add-on that gives me an unsecured product. So now I can please the wife to get the kitchen done. You know, she wants to have the pretty colors and junk like that.
Cabinets,
I'm the
flooring,
guy. I get my
countertops.
solar system. And now she gets her kitchen.
So funny story. I was talking to a customer. We're talking about the tax credit, right? So the tax credit back then was 30%.
I know.
His tax credit was going to be like $12,000. And he's ready to go, right? He's ready to sign. The wife's sitting there and she's got her arms folded. And he's like, what? She goes, we'll talk about it. No, I want to talk about it now. She goes, I want $3,000 for shoes. Just what you were saying, right? The wife wants the kitchen. I get $3,000 of that $12,000 for shoes, and we're good to go.
Oh my God.
He's like, done. Here we go. Let's
Sign
go.
me up.
Yeah. So he
OMG.
agreed. She got $3,000 for shoes. We got a deal, and they're saving energy. They're saving money all the time.
You guys have the best program on the planet, and thank you for putting this together with all those big guys that you guys deal with all the time, right? God bless Home Run Financing for doing what they're doing. Now you've got an unsecured program, and you got something maybe in the works. So you can't tell me now. I get it. It's like a trailer, right?
No, I can tell you now. It launched today.
All right.
So obviously some people want traditional financing. We get it. And there's products that are not available on PACE. So we offer traditional unsecured financing. Just like we offer the PACE loan.
Sure.
And today we launched our 6-month or 12-month no program. So you can go 6 or 12 months without any payments because some people have the money tied up and your money's not making money on the stock market right now, right?
Yeah, I'm going to cash in all my crypto.
People are taking their losses and pulling their money out. But again, it's some of that time. It takes time sometimes to get your money out. So we have the best platform when you use our platform between our unsecured, our PACE financing, which I refer to as secured financing, and now our no. There's no other financing platform in America that offers you those 3 products side by side by side.
So I can go ahead and get the solar, the wife gets the kitchen and the shoes. And then this other part, I can say, well, you know, I'm going to just, instead of my 401k now is a 201k, you know, unfortunately kind of flipped over, right? I can still take what's left over after I've, you know, got dragged over the coals and, you know, they took their little government pinch, and I can pull it out and take care of it.
Correct.
12 months.
And the great thing about the no is go ahead and put the tax credit. Don't finance your tax credit, right? And then get it back and then try to buy it.
Yeah.
Just use the no for the tax credit. You're going to get your, come April, you do your taxes, you get the money back, you pay off the no interest, no payment loan. You're done. So your loan is right sized from the day you buy it. Because as you know,
I love it.
Some financing out there gives you a lower payment to start. This isn't us, by the way. You get a lower payment to start, but if you don't give them the tax credit, that payment gets jacked up.
Right.
And all of a sudden, 12 months from now, they're like, hey, why'd my payment go up $200? Well, where's the $12,000 tax credit you were supposed to give us? Oh, I had an emergency. I had to use it. Well, now your payment's $200 higher because you didn't give us the 12 grand.
That's right.
So I don't like that kind of financing. We don't offer it that way.
Yeah.
You can finance the whole thing when you get the tax credit, pay it down, or use, you can one or all three of our products at the same time.
Do you ever have a discussion with somebody about how they can take advantage of the tax credit if they don't have a tax appetite?
Absolutely. So another program we have,
I'll tell you my story once you tell me yours.
We have a prepaid lease. And what that prepaid lease is, the investor helps you with the tax credit because the investor gets to use the tax credit and then he can help you use the tax credit. So the tax credit almost gets taken off the top. It's not the entire 26%, but it's the best prepaid lease in the industry today.
It's like 20% or something like that.
Between 20, it varies a little bit, but it's right up there. So you can you can get money, you can still get the tax credit not qualifying for it. Something very similar.
Here's one of the things that I tell people, and it's what I did, right? So those of you that still pay taxes, this is a great formula. I don't know. Maybe you can smack me if I'm wrong, and maybe I've been doing this wrong for 10 years. I don't think so, though, right? But I spoke to a tax guy, and he says, listen, just go to your employer. Let's just say I'm getting back $6,000. That's the goal, right? And it's like February. He goes, go to your employer and claim 9.
Yes, absolutely.
Your dependents can go up to 9. Here's what I did. I took the extra money that they put on my check and that cookie jar we talk about all the time, Mike. So that little extra federal, the stuff that you really can't see but you can feel now, it went into the cookie jar. The avoided energy cost after I had what I put up, that extra savings, I still wrote the check, but I put it in the cookie jar. And at the end, I had 50% or more of that money to put down. And then, that 225 we're talking about, well, that rolls down to $90.
Yeah, that's a great one. No.
So am I seeing something wrong?
No, absolutely, positively the right thing to do. The only challenge is make sure that guy comes off those 9 deductions.
Is that why the IRS is chasing me?
Yeah. So if you don't change those deductions, now when you do your taxes the following year, you owe several $1,000s, whatever. So it's... Again, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and you've got to take advantage of all those ways. But you have to talk to somebody who's knowledgeable about it. But the most important thing
is give me a call.
Right? Absolutely. Here we're at the right place.
Yeah.
The most important thing when you're buying solar is sizing it correctly. It's the biggest mistake. These kids get into the business and they run around and they undersell. If you have 900 kilowatts a month, you need to make 990. You need to make 1,000 kilowatts because April's different than June and December's different. So it's cheaper to buy solar. So it's cheaper to overbuy solar. And Edison removed the 120% restriction. I don't know if that came back yet.
Is that NEM3?
This is...
Or is it going to 4?
I don't... I think this
they
is...
They still let us do the 120.
They did. It's still 120?
It's still here.
So go do 120. Yeah. Who uses less energy? Who? Do we not?
I don't know anybody.
Look at all this electronics you have plugged in this office. People have this stuff in their homes.
Well, my property manager's paying for the electricity. But sorry, guys. Appreciate that. No, watch my rent go up. But you're right. These little, I call them yahoos, don't I, Ray?
Yes, you do.
These little guys, they're like this little, I don't know, what do they call that? A troll?
Yeah.
Whatever.
They are.
They get into this, I'm 20. I just graduated high school. My mom says go do something. And all these solar vultures, as I call them, and they're out there, they'll tell you it's free, the YouTubers, hey, they'll make you drink the Kool-Aid as you're sitting there watching everything. What is the number one thing you're fighting right now, Ray, when they talk about solar?
What am I fighting?
Yeah. What are they saying? It's what? Me
Is
and
it
Sean got it.
free?
Yeah. Me and Sean got it yesterday.
We get a lot of people saying, "Hey, I've heard it's free."
It was always a YouTube ad.
YouTube ad. You know, I see it on TV or I see everything. You know, it's always just. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always say it's free.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
always
The word
free.
free.
So what happens is where the problem is, they're not trained properly in the first place.
Correct.
Right.
You know, the little guy gets in front of a screen, and it's kind of like almost the Hitler training way back when they wanted to get the blue eyes and the blonde hair. They sit him in front of the screen, and they just go over, it's free, it's free, it's free, no money, you know, but whatever they're doing, right? And they drink a gallon of Kool-Aid. By the time these guys get out in the streets, I actually heard from one of these managers' mouths one time, whatever you do, Billy, sell them a 3K.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Just 3K, just, you know, or 10 panels. There was a very large contractor that ran around. This was 10 years ago, sold a 2.5 kilowatt system for $25,000
To everybody.
to everybody.
Yeah, he's making $12 a watt.
Yes. And then and a year later, when you call and say, hey, I just got this $1,200 bill or $2,000 bill. Oh, you're using more energy than you did last year.
What an excuse.
It's a great excuse, but it's a lie.
It's a total lie.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, the CSI calculator current. Are you aware of that calculator?
I use the old one.
Okay.
And it's still kind of there. It puts the PTC ratings in there.
And the good thing about that is I
it
used
current
to
now?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
I think
Thank
so.
you.
I haven't used it in a few years. So
I
don't
love
want to say
that
it is,
calculator.
but the CSI calculator, I used to destroy my competition because I go in there right in front of the customer, put in the number of panels, the direction of the roof, kept it all pretty simple.
Yep.
Printed the graph that they told them was going to wipe out their power.
Yep.
And proved to them beyond a shadow of a doubt, this
Yep.
is not going to wipe out your power. This is how many kilowatt hours you're going to have to buy.
That's right.
This is how much it's going to cost you. Now, if you do my system, I'm $60 more a month, but you don't have this $1,200 at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which is better. And so that was that calculator should be more advertised more and easier to use for just the layman to go in there and go 12 panels pointing east, 300 watt panels. What's it going to make?
Hey, listen, CSI-EPBB.com, right?
Yep.
Hey, Ray, wake up. We're going to give you solar for free.
Come on, Mike.
But
there's no free lunches, right, Mike? Come on.
no free lunches. But my whole thing now is all the new homes that are being built, and they come with the solar panels.
It's almost embarrassing, right?
They're under figured. I mean, they did
And they ruin the roof in the process.
They ruin the roof in the process.
Absolutely ruin the roof. They put it right in the middle. They don't put it to one side. They make it look nice. And again, it's never enough panel. These are 2,000, 2,800, 3,000 square foot homes with 12 panels.
Right.
Even if they're 300 watt panels, it's half the system that they need.
Well, you know what it is? These contractors, I happen to be a contractor, but I'm not doing that, right? They have to put a minimum up of 2.5 kilowatt because of Title 24. You know, what they did with this million roof thing, and it all kind of trickled down. And, you know, when I hear these guys saying, hey, vote for this, vote for that, I'm like, you didn't win the last vote, so are you kidding me?
Right.
These 2.5Ks, that'll run your refrigerator, probably a fan and a radio.
Yeah, it's
embarrassing.
Once again, it's ruining solar for people because nobody did it right. If you don't do it right, you know, it's like when you buy a little mini pickup and you try to haul 5,000 pounds of gravel.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
At 1,000-pound rating, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
So,
you have to properly size the solar system is the biggest challenge in the solar industry forever, and it continues to be.
But if you get the right tires, it may work.
No.
Okay.
and unfortunately, the next challenge is with the batteries. Is there are companies out there running around saying, we'll put a 90% system and give you this $12,000 battery, and that'll wipe out your bill.
Do you mind if we talk about that for a minute?
Not at all.
Okay, so I'm a lithium-ion guy. I came from trace engineering. You know, when they had FETs, you pulled out the FET board, you fix it, and you shipped it back, right? That's where I came from, the off-grid community. And I'm so happy that it started that way because I had to learn everything from the ground up and autonomy at the same time. You know, talking about batteries, right? It's great. I get it. It's like putting batteries in your flashlight. Eventually, those batteries are not going to work anymore.
That's the challenge, right? So Tesla to throw a name out there. Tesla, obviously the same battery technology is in their cars.
Yep.
And it's been proven, right?
Yep.
You mean the cars last, they go, they charge, they're no
You mean I got a power wall in my car?
You got a power wall in your car. Ford has a truck that you can plug into your house, right? The new Lightning, you can plug the truck into your house.
That's right.
So, the bottom line is that the battery still, there's a life issue. Right. And I mean, if Tesla's been around for 10 years, I'm not positive they've been around for 10 years, but are there 10-year-old Teslas on the road? But how many miles have you driven it? And was it cost effective for that time? If you're in a fire zone, if you're in an area where you have, blackouts or brownouts, if you're on medical equipment and you just can't lose power, and you get a lot of sunlight, batteries make a tremendous amount. Or if you just want that peace of mind.
It's a great alternative and peace of mind, most importantly. Right?
I had a gentleman in the Chino Hills area, and you walked into his house, you thought you were at like the LA Aquarium or the Long Beach Aquarium, all saltwater aquariums.
Oh, how beautiful.
And his garage was this filtering system station, and I was just like, oh my gosh, right?
He likes fish.
He likes fish. But if those pumps turned off for more than 20 minutes, they would all die.
Yeah, I know.
And Chino Hills is in that fire zone, blah, blah, and he's just like, I got to have batteries. I just got to have batteries. I'm like, I get it.
Honey, you can't buy food. Get that battery system in there now.
I mean, he's got $100,000 tied up in fish tanks and fish, and he just says, I'm going to spend 50. Actually, he was more like 45,000. He needed 3 batteries to run everything.
3 batteries.
Well, he wanted to run all the air conditioners too.
Okay, yeah. So. I mean, it's great, and then you can set it to where it dumps back to the grid.
Finally, that took a minute.
Right?
That took a minute. So
Battery management systems came into place.
Yes.
And now you can see all that in your apps, which is really cool. And if you did get a really sophisticated system, I mean, we install power walls just in case. And LG, and then look at one of my favorites. Listen, I own a Tesla, but I'm just going to tell them my favorite right now. It's the Generac system.
Right.
There's nothing better. And then you can make sure that if you have the old Generac, remember the generators at 12 Ks? I mean, why have a battery if your power goes out? The frickin' generator turns on. It's natural gas.
Yeah, so that's the alternative, right?
Yeah.
The alternative, if you don't have a lot of outages, I met a super nice gal in Rancho Cucamonga. She bought a generator. They were having power outages. Then she tried to pour gas into her hot generator.
No.
And of course, she burned down her patio. Her patio was burnt down before the fire department got there because, so you need a generator that's hooked to the natural gas, right? You don't want to be pouring gas in a hot generator. And the other thing I said is, well, your gas tank was, 1.5 gallons. Only have a 1 gallon pour thing, so you can never overfill it.
Overfill
I didn't think of that. I said, you gotta think these things through because it's hot. So Generac, love Generac, made in Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
I got an ad the other day. I'm still looking. I'm like, Generac, right? And they make a battery too, which is super nice because it's modular, so you can buy small and add to it.
They're small and it fits on nice.
It's really cool. But a natural gas generator, the war on natural gas is a joke today, right? California's got a war on natural gas. They're forcing all your appliances to go electric. You don't want an electric dryer. You go ask a cook about cooking on an electric stove versus a gas stove.
It's horrible.
It's absolutely horrific. Yeah. And they're just constantly making natural gas an enemy. So I would never live anywhere without natural gas.
And they're saying the new houses are going to be all electric.
They've done this before.
Right. Yeah,
so
right.
Well, we're going to give you a special rate. Yeah, for 3 years, and then you're going to jack it all up.
Right.
So all electric is a joke. It's a farce. There's no reason we have more natural gas under the ground than any country in the world. There's natural gas is the cleanest. It burns the cleanest. It's abundant.
Doesn't murder the environment.
Hey, how about lowering the cost? When you lower the cost of energy, what happens to industry?
Yeah.
Right? Look at the cost of everything going up because of the cost of diesel fuel. Everything you get and buy comes by a truck. Right. Think about this.
Yeah.
Nothing you gets to where it goes unless it's in a container. It's on a ship. The ship's got to have gas, fuel, oil, whatever. It doesn't run on, it runs on a fuel.
Diesel fuel.
Trains run on diesel fuel.
Yep.
Trucks run on diesel fuel. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We should have the most energy. We should be abundant with energy. Our cost of energy should be nothing. And then all that extra money gets pumped into the economy, right? Then people can, instead of paying $300 for a power bill, they have an extra couple $100 to go to a ball game, to go to a movie, go see Top Gun a third time. Right?
Exactly.
I'll do it.
Hey, Chuck, where you been all my life?
Right? I mean, it's incredibly
opportunity is here.
They're just people are dense, and so. But who's pushing all this green energy? And that's what really I want to know is.
Do you think there's an alternative table somewhere?
Absolutely.
I'm
sorry, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but here's what I got to tell you. There are forces in this world that don't want us to succeed.
Yep.
So they let us fight amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. So you saw Top Gun, Avengers. I don't have to beat the Avengers. I have to have the Avengers fight themselves.
That's right.
Right. So we just have, and big oil doesn't want to do anything right now because there's no future in it. Right. So why are they going to invest billions of dollars when there's no future in it? And they're not going to do it. They're not idiots. Right. So make sure there's a future in it. Give them a plan to where there's a future, and then they'll pump more oil out of the ground. But why would you make the first thing that you do reduce the amount of oil that we need in this country when we were an exporter? Why would that be the first thing that you do? I mean, I'm green. I love solar. I've had solar in my house since 2010, but it's a combination of all those things. Right. Even windmills, man, some of them windmills don't look too good. Right. They're leaking all over the place.
They're delivering power to LA anyways, or,
wherever they're delivering the power.
But it's funny. I went from gun to sun. I used to sling a gun in the city of San Gabriel. I was did reserve work over there, and I was there 40 hours, and I thought I was going to save the planet. Right. So I fell in love with the earth, and then I haven't looked back since. Right. But when I was getting into it, I remember that on the freeway one day when I was traveling on the 60 freeway, there were 5 cars back to back going about 70 miles an hour, and they were testing these vehicles for something. And I'm telling you, it either was electric or it was an alternative energy. And you know what? They were purchased by the oil companies, and they stuck those plans and those patents and everything else in a drawer and said, see you later.
Correct.
Hey, Ray, what's that? Your watch? Oh, someone's at the door. But anyways, it's just horrible.
Yeah, it is. And they've buried, there was Chevy was going to make a hydrogen car. Where did that go?
Oh my gosh.
Although I don't know if I want to use water for fuel, but I'm sure it's a different kind of hydrogen.
But think of it, there was this guy in Australia, didn't he? And all of a sudden he's like, you don't hear about him no more?
It all gets bought up, right? I mean, it gets bought up by people who don't want it on the street.
Don't want it on the street.
But that just means it's there when we need it, right?
Yeah.
So when, it's like the aircraft we don't know that are flying over our heads, right? We know when the SR-71.
Chemtrail.
Right? When the SR-71's flying around and nobody knew about it, and it's the fastest thing, and it can go halfway around the world.
Mach 50 or something
whatever
like
the heck that is. But so at least that we know that technology is.
Yeah.
It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's this big warehouse with all this technology in cardboard boxes, and we're just waiting for Indiana Jones to go in there and bust out the technology.
It's been there for years,
It's but the abundance of energy that we have under our feet in this country, there's just no reason to be paying high energy costs.
Listen,
there just isn't.
The biggest nuclear plant is only 93 million miles away, and it only takes 8 minutes to hit the Earth. Why the hell aren't we using more alternative energies and stuff like that? But, there's something else that I've been putting together. I've told Ray about this. There's something that would disrupt the entire industry, and I have to say it. Earth magnets. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not telling you how I'm doing it, but it actually broke a theory that was put together by Nikola Tesla way back when.
Okay.
These earth magnets make it real.
Yeah, that guy was pretty smart. I've watched the shows about that guy, and
we're using it right now. We got Wi-Fi. We're talking through a microphone. Everything that he did, that his nemesis, what's that? Who's that? Edison?
Yes.
Yeah, that's made him. I think he died penniless in New York. And,
correct.
And took all his patents, and then, hey, I'm Edison. I invented all this stuff. Where he wanted to invent DC, not AC. Right? So we know the stories, but rare earth magnets, and maybe we'll table this on a different time.
Sure.
And I'll show you what I've done.
Okay.
And
Love to see it.
It'll blow you away. And it's actually working as we speak.
When AC energy came out, and Tesla designed AC energy because it went further than DC energy, he was getting 0.00 something of every AC kilowatt sold. And that was his for the rest of his life. He gave all that up to get paid. I think it was Westinghouse paid him off so he could go do his transfer energy via wireless energy transfer. And
he started the first wireless tower, and about 70% through this whole thing, and they set this guy up. Westinghouse goes, I'm not going to fund you anymore.
Right. You're
this
done.
poor guy,
Yeah,
you know.
He got screwed.
Yeah, he did. Unfortunately, but, you know, thanks Elon for keeping his name into play, right? I appreciate him doing that. Tesla was an amazing human being.
Yes.
It's just that, unfortunately, the wolf came into the hen house and took him down. But that being said, alternative energy is here, man. And we have alternative financing versus your typical, who does HELOCs anymore? I mean,
well, you have to remember that if you're
I guess
doing
the
a HELOC,
mafia?
well, it's adjustable, right? Go get a rate
his
from the
name's
bank.
Luigi, and he'd take your kneecaps out if you don't
Luigi.
pay him back.
6% is going to go up half a point a month for 12 months. They're going to
Yeah.
make it painful so that you refi. I mean, get a fixed rate. Everybody knows. Get a fixed rate. Use your home. You said it earlier. Use your home. Your home, it's not your equity in your home that you're using. That's the great thing about it. If you use a PACE loan, you're not using your equity. It's a different kind of financing. And that came about because of HERS, Home Energy Rating System.
Hello.
During Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnold was going to was going to devalue your house when you sold it because it wasn't going to be energy efficient.
That's
that
right.
only stuck for AC. Insulation and windows, it never stuck for those things because everything crashed right at the end of Arnold's term when they're like, hey, Arnold, you got to stop spending all this money because there's going to be a crash. Oh, no, there's not going to be a crash. There was a crash. So HERS went away. But yeah, that's where PACE was born. PACE was born to be able to do energy efficient improvements to your house to make it less expensive to put energy in your home. And today there's just not a better way to finance something. As long as you understand it, as long as you can afford the payment, right? If you can't afford the payment, then please don't do it, right? And that's one of the stipulations. It's called ability to pay. We have to make sure you have enough income. And in PACE loans, we can get you approved for a PACE loan in 5 minutes.
Here's the cool thing about a PACE loan. Check this out. Firstly, their monthly payments or their annual tax, tax payment is literally nothing. It's pennies on the dollar as far as I'm concerned, right? So you get an adjustment in your taxes. Woohoo! You're going to get that anyway from the county and everybody else that's doing this, right? The cool thing about a PACE loan is if you understand solar correctly, all you're doing is taking that 7% annual increase. Thank you, CEC.
All right.
And they're adding that to your electric costs. You're just taking that and you're putting it towards your PACE loan because once you have a solar system on your roof, if it's designed right, tell me if I'm wrong, that kind of is negligible.
Yes.
It kind of goes away.
Yes.
And then on top of that, Mike, we just talked about it for Chuck pulled in.
Right.
We talked about the interest that you can write off. You can't do that on your typical bank loan. You can't write off the interest.
No.
All that's garbage, right?
Right.
But in a PACE loan, whatever that is, that kind of subtracts from that when I do my taxes.
Yes.
And on top of that, I can use this really cool form. It's called an ITC, an investment tax credit. Hey, I just bought $30,000 worth of solar. Let me guess that times 26%. What is it, like $7,500?
Something like that.
I can go ahead and then go to my employer, raise my dependents to 9, because some of these people and these reps, I'm sorry, I have to bring that up again. If I can, kind of reprogram or have
Intervention?
a Alcoholics Anonymous class for bad solar reps, right. I'd do it. It'd be AA for the mucky mucks or the yo-hos that we talk about, right? I'd put them all in a room and I'd say, listen, this is what's going to happen. And then you take that money, you stick it on your PACE loan. And here's the irony of this whole thing. Avoided energy costs? Really? 7%. So you got the ITC, you got the avoided energy cost, you got the interest on the PACE loan, you got a great rate. Here is the one that kills me the most. The National Appraisal Journal. Am I going there? He's shaking his head. Says for every dollar of energy you save, it's $20 of equity added to the house. So when you put that $30,000 there, then you take off the investment tax credit of $7,500. You see the numbers getting smaller, right?
Right.
Then you take off the PACE interest, and then you take off the avoided energy cost, and then you add this last cherry to the top. National Appraisal Journal says for every dollar that I save in energy, I get to wipe out $20. But you know what I tell customers? let's just make it fair, Mr. Jones. Let's call it 10.
Right.
And then when I do that, they're actually making money at the end of the freaking day.
Yes.
Am I right to say that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're
I've argued with so many appraisers, right? They're like, I go, does a swimming pool add value? Oh, yeah. Do you have to put water in it? Do you have to put chemicals in it? That pool costs you.
You got to heat it.
You got to heat it, or monthly maintenance on that pool is you put a solar system on your house. And by the way, do you ever pay off Edison? You pay off your mortgage someday if you're lucky. Do you ever pay off Edison?
No.
But you could pay off your solar system, so now you have no payment. So, if you don't have a payment for power, how is that not? And then you buy a house that has solar on it, and you don't have and that payment's wrapped into your mortgage at whatever percent. Now you have your whole house is powered by your roof.
Hey, Ray.
Can't go wrong.
Solar's free.
Solar is free.
Let's go on to that. And I exactly tell them that every single time. I'm a 90% closer. I sell facts. I don't sell garbage. I don't sell deception. I don't put my face on YouTube and say it's free and junk like that. That reminds me of the crazy Gideon commercials, Get the TV from me or your TV is... The guy threw a giant, like a 22-inch TV. Remember that? He was on the roof. Or your TV's... I don't know what the commercial was.
You're talking about the mattress.
Yeah. No, I'm not crazy Gideon. This guy used to be on the top of a roof.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And he would throw a TV off. I'm like, what?
Yep.
I'm not a crazy Gideon. I'm not a Cal Worlington. I'm a guy that's going to be very honest and have integrity. Listen, if it doesn't make sense, specifically solar, there's not one person on the planet you can put me in the room with that I cannot exploit under stupidity.
Right.
And most of it is going to be deception.
Correct. So
have you ever read a PPA?
Yes.
One of my favorite things is called the highlighter.
Yeah.
Why would you trade your energy for something? I don't get it.
Well, there's a reason why their PPAs and leases aren't popular, because once you found out that they're not being monitored, that they don't produce enough power, they didn't put a big enough system on your house.
And that escalator.
And there's escalators built in.
2.9% on top.
Now, I will tell you that I sold a lease back in the day that had 16 cents a kilowatt hour fixed for 20 years. I was able to, it had some things you could do to lock people in. And I sold like 27 of those leases in 2 weeks because 16 cents locked in for 20 years. That's a no-brainer.
Hello.
Right.
You and I came from the SunPower world a little bit, right?
Yes.
I was one of their master sellers at SunPower. I love SunPower. In fact, Rob will tell you, if you kind of opened my arm up and kind of, showed my vein and,
right.
You're kind of leaking out the blood, it says SunPower on the vein as it's going out.
Right.
I
85
love
patents, boron dip, grid on the back. I mean,
I'm going to say it, SunPower is one of the best systems besides Solaria. They're not as efficient as Solaria is now.
There's good product out there.
But let me tell you something. I sold the hell out of that lease. You know why it worked? Because they took the ITC.
Yes.
That was one of the best programs on the planet. And I tell you this by far, remember what was the 308s?
I sold the 215s.
The 215s.
The 215s.
Oh, wow.
The 215s had the white backing. And
327s was mine.
Yeah, so the 225s looked like a checkerboard.
I love it.
The crystalline, the monocrystalline didn't look alike.
Yeah.
So it looked like a checkerboard.
You can always tell a SunPower system from the... Oh, that's a SunPower system, right?
It was... Yeah, but 215's near and dear to my heart. It's the only panel I sold. People are like, why don't you have more panels? I only need one.
That's right.
This is the one, right? And if you need more power, you don't need to pay extra for the 225. Buy a couple extra 215 panels, and we'll put them on your roof, and we'll solve all your problems.
I love it, And then Solaria came out. Trust me, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that's different between them and Aptos is probably pricing and the price per watt you can purchase it at.
Right.
But that being said, solar is the alternative, man.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you get Bozo solar panels, as long as they're made out of silicon, and most importantly, you got a good inverter system.
Right. Oh, can we just have a moment of silence for Solar World? Because I really
that
miss
was
them.
my favorite. Where are
Solar
you
World.
going?
Right.
All right, let's do it.
Ready?
Here, hang it. No, hang it. We got to put the right sound with it, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when SunPower went out and bought them. Okay,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yes.
Let's give it like 3 seconds. All right, that's enough.
Yeah, Solar World. So I was, again, SunPower 215s.
Oh, yeah.
Later in life, I was introduced to Solar World. They had the best videos. They had the best everything. You go into a house, you roll the videos.
I was in heaven.
The cartoon about how it's being made.
The cartoon.
And all the quality control and the fact that they made their own stuff right up all there in Hillsboro, even though
Oregon.
Love it. SunPower in Europe was going down the tubes. But, man, I really was hoping that SunPower was going to keep that plant open and make 250s or 300, just make the standard panels. They didn't. I get it. They bought it because of the tariffs. They were afraid of the tariffs. So that was plan B. The tariffs didn't happen. So plan C was close it.
I thought they bought it because of the building.
They bought it because of the tariffs.
The tariffs.
In case they were going to have to build in the U.S.
Gotcha.
So to avoid the tariffs.
Kind of smart, right?
Well, it's very smart. But
Solar World looked and had the gold parachutes on. They're like, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, it was just a great product. Again, like Solaria, like SunPower, the Solar World panels were just out of this world.
You know what? You're part of the old time team, man, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you do for us. Now, thank you for being part of the Home Run program.
Thank you.
Let's
Glad
do it,
to be
man.
here.
I mean,
Love it.
Great stuff, right?
Thank you.
Hey, Ray, what do you got going on today? Do you want to go see Batman again?
Negative. Not Batman. You mean Top
Sorry,
Gun?
man. No, I mean Batman. That was kind of a bummer too.
Did you like the new one?
And I'm a Batman fan. I mean, can you tell from the tattoo on my arm?
I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying? I won't show you where else the Batcave is. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, I out of a 10, I rated it a 5.
Ouch.
I love Robert Pattinson.
He did good.
He did great, and there's some other characters that didn't turn me on. This freaking Riddler.
No, that was
They
terrible.
blew that out of the water so badly.
That was not even close.
They should have dug up, the Addams Family guy, and he could have did a better job on a mask.
Yeah, I didn't
like
that.
the ending.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending.
Oh,
Blowing up the river, flooding the place.
When the lights came on in the auditorium, I'm like, are we done?
Yeah, it wasn't.
So ridiculous, right?
What did you think of the Joker movie with?
Oh, listen, no, Dre, I don't know. What were you drinking at the time? Listen, wine does not count, okay, friend?
I was very disappointed.
Listen, and I love him.
Leave my comics alone, please.
He's one of my favorite actors. He's badass, right? But when he did this kind of methodical he tried to.
They made Thomas Wayne a bad guy. I mean, they just tried to. I mean, the Joker's not a good guy. I mean,
listen,
anyway.
You want to do a good Batman movie? Watch the 1943 Batman series, which I have on my wall over here, right?
Right.
And then watch the 1960 series where Adam West was there.
Right.
That's what we want. And then follow Bob Kane's, his Batman comic book from 1930 on. Whoever does that is going to make a badass Batman movie.
Correct.
Right.
Well, Michael Keaton one. I mean, that was just incredible for the time.
Michael Keaton was, he's got this. I got this big poster behind my desk.
Yeah, Michael Keaton did.
He was one of my favorite. And Kristen Bale.
Again,
I love this guy.
That was Clooney, Val Kilmer. Just the
Clooney
one was the
God
Clooney
rest
one
your
was
souls. No, I'm just kidding.
Unbelievable.
The Clooney one was he like watered down. I was like, who's this guy?
Unrealistic. All them.
Go back to Ocean's 29.
Exactly.
But anyways,
leave my Batman alone.
29.
Leave my Batman alone. Thank you for saying that. Hey, Ray, I want to thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
You got a lot of stuff going on. If somebody wants to call you to get a real solar system put on their roof, what's your cell number, Ray?
626-215-1044.
It's not the 900 number? No, I'm just kidding. Chuck, thank you, man.
No, thanks for having me. I look forward to coming back.
Please come back with some new things that are happening with Homerun. You guys got some things that's coming up here in July. I can't wait to be a partner in that. Everything. This guy right here next to you, I would die for this guy, Mike. He's one of the best
great guy
people in training. He'll give the shirt off your back. And guess what? If you're in the house, he'll say, what's the address? I'm not kidding you.
Exactly.
This guy's insane.
Yeah.
So you want a good rep? I'm not going to tell you. Well, Mike Sabatino.
There you go.
Now, if I lose you, man, I'm going to be pissed. I'm just going to go to Chuck.
No.
Hey, Chuck, give me back Mike.
Right?
My job today was to bring Chuck. Chuck is the guru of home run financing, all kinds of financing. And if anybody knows anything about the solar and financing and where financing is going, Chuck knows it all.
You know, you and me can hit a campfire and just
Absolutely.
talk probably for like 3 days.
Right. Exactly. No.
I think it was you two speaking more than just.
I was going to say, Mike, you
Mike,
couldn't
sorry.
get
No,
I
I
think
mean,
Mike, you
no.
listened to
I
words.
brought Chuck here because I know, and I told Chuck, I said, you are the guru.
Yep.
I mean, it's not just home run financing; it's where financing is going, and where PACE is going, and where unsecured is going. And Chuck is, like I said, he's top shelf when it comes down to this, and that's why I brought him today.
Can you see me giving you the hail, Chuck? Oh, hail, Chuck. Hail, Chuck. Hey, you know, before we go, we want to say hi to our sponsors, drone9.net, everybody. If you want to get a drone shot, you're into real estate, flipping houses, whatever, you want to put a really good, you know, drone thing together, cinematography, drone9.net. CMYC Inc., CMYC Inc., one of the best house flippers and real estate people on the planet. Really, really good. And should I say the TIB one, Ray?
Sure.
I mean, even though that I think the NFT thing sucks, we have one. It's called Trolls in Bikinis.
Nice. Oh, there's the troll.
No, I don't have a troll in bikini in my arm yet, but Sean would agree. And then our friends at Solaria. We love Solaria. Come
Love
on.
it.
You and I are one of the biggest fans of those guys. And then Mr. Glossy, he cleans all our solar systems that go up. And special thoughts to those guys. Chuck, thanks again, man.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you,
Mike,
Chuck.
love you like a brother.
We'll be here again.
Couldn't get any more. Hey, we got a new rep that just came in, so
Yeah, I'll be
get
coming
ready
back
for
after
that
that.
one.
Yep.
And Ray, keep up the good work, okay? We are the Energy Hour Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
So long.
We'll talk to you soon. Episode 60, baby. We made it.
60.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to The Energy Hour. Visit them on the internet by going to qhiinc.com/TEO. That's qhiinc.com/TEO.
This podcast is brought to you by Aliva Digital Marketing, lead generation and SEO for local businesses. Increase your web presence with their results in advanced strategy, including a video website audit and analysis for free. Listeners of this podcast can get 75% off Aliva's fees. But hurry, only the first 5 businesses that inquire can get this deal. Aliva Digital Marketing, a proud sponsor of this podcast. Online at Aliva.
Capture the joyful magic of the holiday season with Virtual Santa. Virtual Santa is a high-definition projection effect that walks, waves, laughs, eats cookies, and puts presents under the tree. From outside, it's so real, you swear Santa's in your house. Virtual Santa, originally seen on ABC's The Great Christmas Light Fight. You can choose from traditional Virtual Santa or new African American Santa. Holiday effects include Virtual Santa, Mrs. Claus, Santa's Workshop with Christmas elves, and so much more. Buy one effect or a bundle. Available in HD DVD, digital download, or USB flash drive. Also available in LED projection bundles. For a winning Christmas display that will delight your neighbors young and old, visit us at virtualsanta.com and become known as the house where Santa lives. Virtual Santa, where holiday spirit begins.
Got your latest electric bill? Is it less than last month or last year? Probably not. But if you had a solar system from QHI, it would be. Your electric meter could be running backwards. Right now, get a QHI system installed for no money down, no out-of-pocket expenses. Get an immediate savings on your electric bill. Call 909-609-5437. Solar is all they do. Call QHI 909-609-5437.
Solaria. Beauty, efficiency, and power. For nearly 20 years, Solaria has set the pace for solar panel performance, efficiency, reliability, quality, and design. Solaria continues to leverage its patented technology, engineering expertise, and sophisticated automation into creating one of the most attractive, energy-efficient solar panels available on the market today. Redefining home solar. Solaria's high-output solar panels deliver maximum energy production in a streamlined, all-black design that complements your home's architectural style with more than 20% more energy per square meter than traditional solar panels. Solaria's advanced Power XT panels pack maximum power into minimum space for industrial leading efficiency. Enjoy clean, reliable power day in and day out, backed by our 25-year warranty. Solaria is the new benchmark for solar energy. Quality you can trust for your home and business. For more information, go to qhinc.com/Solaria.